Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to Motors for the Masses.
Hang on. It's November.
Oh, good point. All right, let's get on with today's video. Hello again and welcome to Motors for the Masses.
And in this episode, we'll be looking at all the fun and exciting new things coming to the car and bike world in 2020.
So roll the intro and let's get cracking.
Crack!
So before we start, we just want to remind you that Motorcycle Live, which is happening this week, it's happening now whilst this video's out. People are there looking at stuff. We're going to be there this weekend, so tomorrow and the day after. Saturday the 23rd of November and Sunday the 24th of November. We'll be there filming on the Saturday and in the social hub on the Sunday.
So please do come and say hello.
Indeed.
We'll appreciate that.
Absolutely. Be nice to talk to you. See what kind of bikes you've got, see what you like to watch, see what you've been up to. And anything else you want to talk about? Nothing medical. We're not doctors.
So first, a bike. Triumph are releasing in the summer a new 121 brake horsepower, 58 foot-pounds of torque 765 RS, which looks very much like a Triumph, but also very pretty.
Indeed. It should be pretty quick at 166 kilos, so it's not overly heavy. It's not the lightest in the world, but 765 is quite a lumpy engine, so 166 kilos is pretty good. Look forward to seeing that. Okay, next, well, those of you that remember McGregor and Borman's journeys, the long way down and the long way round, well, they're doing another one called the long way up, this time on electric Harleys.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yes.
However, I was thinking, Harley Davidsons make lots of noise,
They do.
don't they? So how's that going to work? Are people with open-face helmets just going to go... Or are they going to get their American Express cards and jam it in the spokes?
Yeah, or Diners Club.
Yeah.
You know, there's no specified credit card.
Visa, MasterCard, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mind you, a Harley doesn't really go, does it?
No.
Glug, 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 glug. Well, it's nice like drinking a beer, isn't it? Glug, glug, glug,
Well, it's really
glug,
dependent
glug.
on how spaced out the spokes are.
And how fast it goes. Glug, 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 glug. What are your thoughts on that? Anyway, what do you think of the new Harley electric? We get that the world is going electric, and there's lots of things to discuss electric-wise in this episode. But is it really what we want? Electric bikes that shouldn't really be electric? I mean, it's a Harley.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. Please let us know your thoughts. We're sort of
On the fence.
about it.
Honda have a new 226 kilogram Africa Twin, 1100 cc's, 100 horsepower, 77 foot-pounds of torque.
Absolutely. Prices ranging from 13 to 17,500 pounds, depending on whether you want a manual or a DCT and what version you go for. It does look very different. Here's a picture coming up, and you can see here it's kept its Africa Twin look. It's still got that same sort of off-roady Dakar style body, but it's, I don't know, it's a bit more modern, I guess.
Yeah, it does sound a little expensive.
Well, yes, but I don't know. What are your comments? What are your thoughts? Have you ridden an Africa Twin? I'm sure it's great. It's got plenty of poke by the sounds of it. Yes, it is a bit weighty at 226 kilos, but it's got enough power to push it along.
It's an 1100.
Exactly. And it's got plenty of torque. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on that bike. Is that something you got your name down for? Do you have the current Africa Twin? Let us know your thoughts.
Exciting news from Bullet. Those that
Indeed
bring
there
you
is.
the hero, the heritage, the spirit. Also, a bigger and even bigger brother.
Indeed there is. What do we mean by that? Well, there is a new bike coming called the Blue Rock, BLUROC. That's coming in a 125 and a 250 version. And the 250 has a V-twin. Yes, it does. The 125 will be coming in January 2020, and that will have the same engine as the Spirit and the current Hero, so the GN-based Suzuki 125 engine.
The 250 Blue Rock V-twin we have very little information on, however we do know it's coming early 2020.
And there will be a review on that. Oh yes. Now there is also a bigger Bullet Hero coming. We can't say too much on that, and we can't show you a picture of it.
Is it a Hero?
Watch this space. Bigger, lumpier. Oh, looking forward to that.
Now there's some more from the Bullet camp in the form of a Nico, the GTXX 125.
Indeed. Now that will be coming in the spring. There's also going to be a 400 version coming in the summer as well. Now that one will have a 125 liquid cooled engine as well. So that's going to be exciting. I think that's a contender, or maybe a replacement stroke another one along the lines of the Alex 1.
Yeah.
And we've also got more news from Bullet. Now, they are bringing out a brand new bike. Now, we don't have much information on this at the moment, but it's going to have a 125 liquid cooled engine, but it's going to be Zongshen's version of the 125 Aprilia engine, the one they use in the RS4, the one they use in the Derby GPR, the one they use in the Ryu Century, the one they use in the FB Mondial 125. So that's going to be exciting. Now that is described as and I quote, custom flat track supermoto style bike. Street flat track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Custom supermoto street flat track style bike. Make of that what you will.
That's open to interpretation, isn't it?
As soon as we get some more information about that, we'll be on it.
So we've had some two wheels, let's go to some four wheel action.
Indeed. Now Alfa Romeo have a new car coming out called the Tonale.
That doesn't look a lot like a toenail.
Here it is. It's probably pronounced Tonale or something like that.
Yeah.
Tonale or Tonally, something like that. I don't know. You decide. We've heard lots of different things. It looks like toenail.
It does. It says toenail to me.
Well, basically, it's a Jaguar F-Pace with an Alfa front end. And it'll be around £30,000. Now, I don't understand why they bought this out, because the Stelvio came out a couple of years ago. So why bother with this one?
Well, it is £6,000 less. Okay. Which brings us nicely or miserably to the elephant in the room.
The elephant going by the name of the Mustang Mach-E.
Or the Mach-E, as we are going to call it.
It looks and sounds nothing like a Mustang. Now, where do I start with this? Even the rear lights look more Peugeot 3008 than they do S550 Mustang.
That's debatable. I mean, it does look a lot like the Peugeot. Both the 3008 and the 5008 have got that kind of three-strip light. But the Mustang Mach-E are closer together and they look a lot like the S550, I think.
Right. I get that Ford is going electric, and I understand why they're doing it, and it does look pretty nice. But it's kind of a Jaguar F-Pace with a Ford front on it.
It is.
So don't call it a Mustang.
No.
You know, a name that's associated with muscle car.
They're just diluting it. They're diluting the Mustang name down into just junk.
But no, they haven't diluted it. They've taken away from what Mustang actually is.
Yeah.
They've turned it into just another SUV crossover type thing.
How long before we get the Micro Mustang ST, which is just a replacement for the Fiesta? You know, they're just going to be like, oh yeah, the Mustang's a fantastic name. Let's just call everything Mustang and we'll sell loads.
It's, you know, they should have called it the E-Fusion.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
would have been a much better thing.
Yeah.
It looks more like a Fusion, or the...
And Fusion sort of relates to energy as well.
The Must-Pace.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Puss-Face, whichever one works.
The Muz-E or the E-Muz. Yeah, but the E-Fusion would be great because that does sort of relate to power in a way with Fusion. So, yeah. However, there are 3 power options, and that's in the US, and 2 in the UK for whatever reason.
Yeah, Ford state, and I quote from their website, "Go electric in any colour."
Yeah.
As long as it's either red, white, black, or some kind of grey.
Yeah, there's various shades of grey.
That's the only colour options you have. So, go electric in any colour. Kind of, you know, electric would seem lime yellow,
Yeah,
or
I want a green one.
crazy green, or something like that. But no.
Yeah. Well,
It's basically the same and a little bit less than the ones they've done on all the other Mustangs. At least Mustang had Need for Green, they had Grabber Blue.
The orange.
They had the orange, the whatever that was called.
I forget.
Not impressed, sorry. Anyway, tell us some facts about it.
Well, I'm going to read from this because there's an awful lot of numbers.
Go on then.
For those that care, in the UK, the pricing will be between 40 and 60,000, which is in the high tax bracket zone.
Yeah, that means you've got to pay £365 on top of your £145 a year.
Yeah.
Oh, mind you know, is it hybrid or is it electric? So it's going to be zero.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the pricing still comes into it.
Actually, I'm not sure. Do you have to still have to pay that £365 if it's an electric vehicle?
Ooh, good question.
Ooh. Still expensive.
Yes.
Next.
Anyway, so there's a 280 mile range with a 75 kilowatt hour battery and a 0 to 60 time of 8 seconds. That's got 255 brake horsepower and 306 pounds-feet of torque, which is actually quite a lot. Yeah. Or, yeah, a 370 mile range, which is actually pretty good. 98 kilowatt hour battery, 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, which is the same. 283 brake horsepower and 306 pounds-feet of torque. Again.
Now, this brings me on to another massive elephant in that very same room, sitting on top of the previous elephant.
That's 2 elephants. That's a lot.
The word Mustang and 0 to 60 in 8 seconds just doesn't seem to go together.
Or maybe in the 60s.
No, I would say maybe in the 70s. Probably the Mach-2, the Mustang 2 was probably the one.
Oh, the 6-cylinder one?
No, they did a 4-cylinder one, didn't they?
Did they? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
The Mustang 2, or was it straight 6 or something like that?
I think it was a straight
sorry,
6.
I apologise.
Yeah.
Well, that probably had a 0 to 60 of 8 seconds. 30, 40 years ago. I mean...
But this isn't burning dinosaurs. This is burning
0 to 60
pixies.
8. But as far as electric's concerned, that's pretty slow.
It is.
Which you'll find out when we come on to some other electric cars in a minute.
Yeah, but where it's slow, you get range. So...
Also, the thing is, you've got the same speed, but a lot more powerful battery and more horsepower.
Yeah, because you're getting more horsepower, the same 0 to 60 time,
And
the
the same
same
torque.
torque, but it's a bigger battery, but with bigger range.
So it's the same power, just used in a different way with more range, more speed. So that extra 30 horsepower seems to help you make the battery go further. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make one car, one eco car with an extra eco button.
Perfect.
Problem solved.
Do that. Just put extra stuff in it to make it more
make
comfortable.
it extra eco. You can have your eco one with a big red one that goes extra eco. Or, ooh,
Green
people,
button.
Green, yes, green.
Green button.
Oh yeah, red is sort of dangerous and angry. We don't want
Yeah.
that. So yeah, big green button, and then just go, oh, I'm going to be extra eco today. Nothing happened, but I feel better for it.
Oh yeah, but it still does the same 0 to 60 and it's got the same torque.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, I don't understand that. Maybe someone can explain how the pixies work in these things.
Anyway, more news from the Mustang camp.
Is there? Oh yeah, there's also an all-wheel drive version with more horsepower, more torque, same batteries, and a 0 to 60 in 7 seconds.
Wow.
Extra traction from the front end. That's blisteringly quick.
Oh dear, oh dear.
They are, however, waffling about a 5-second 0 to 60 version.
Still not a Mustang.
No, and 5 seconds is still relatively slow.
It is, considering the outgoing Mustang does 0 to 60 in what?
I've no idea.
4.8 seconds, is it? 4.9 seconds, something like that? Yeah? The GT500 does it in just over 3 seconds? Under 4, anyway.
To be fair, this isn't a sports car, though, is it? It's an electric crossover SUV thing.
It's not a Mustang. Call it something else, please. Ford, for Christ's sake, call it something else. Do not tarnish the name of Mustang. We're not going to get into the S550 debate and the 4-pot.
Oh,
We're not even going to go down that.
2.3.
We're not going to go down that route because, you know, the purists of Mustangs are going to go, oh, it's still a Mustang. Well, yes, it is. It looks like a Mustang. I get that. At least that one looks like a Mustang.
And there is a little bit of happy news for those people that like the EcoBoost because they are making a hybrid version.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of similar torque and power figures as the V8. So there you go. Anyway, back to the bike world.
Well, Ducati have announced their V4 Street Fighter with biplane double wings for improved aerodynamics.
1100 cc's, 208 brake horsepower, 90 pounds-feet of torque, and it weighs 201 kilograms.
And an exhaust option that can see you adding 12 brake horsepower and 5 more torques.
And the price? 17.5 grand.
Guess what?
What?
Honda's got a new blade.
Do they?
Well, it looks like the old blade, except this one is called the Honda CBR 1000R R.
But it does have 214.5 brake horsepower, 83 pounds-feet of torque.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, not bothered?
Well, 83 pounds-foot of torque is not a huge amount, is it?
No.
Not for 214 horsepower.
No.
No.
That's called the Super Blade as well. Did we mention that?
Okay. Okay, the Kawasaki H2, fast, isn't it?
Most likely.
Well, not fast enough, according to Kawasaki. Now, they have added a Z. And that means it now has 197 brake horsepower and 101 pounds-foot of torque.
Rumoured to be around £16,500.
Lovely. What do you think of the old HK1SWZR? Was it?
H2.
That's the one. What do you think of that? Have you ever ridden an H2? I personally haven't. I've been offered to ride an H2 and I turned it down. The reason why is because it's just a bit too quick for me. And it's a lot of money and I didn't want to break it. So...
Good choice.
Yeah. I'll stick to my Triumph Speed Triple, thank you very much. That's powerful enough for me. The CBR 1000 I'm sure is going to be pretty quick. But, you know, it's just...
Got to get used to these things.
another Fireblade, isn't it, as far as I'm concerned?
It's a Super Blade.
It is. I mean, they have a massive popular following. So do the Kawasaki H2. And it does look awesome, that H2. It really does. Adding a supercharger is just, woo, lovely. But, I don't know. It's for the ridiculously dangerous. Are you ridiculously dangerous? Do you like the Kawasaki H2? Do you have one? What are they like? I don't want to ride it because I don't trust myself on it. I'm sure I'll be fine, but I want to go, what does it do?
Yeah, just don't do that and you'll be fine.
I know, yes.
Okay, cars. Audi. Many of them coming. A couple with e-tron in their name, like the e-tron Fastback, and they're also doing a Q4 e-tron.
Yeah, basically it's an F-Pace with an Audi badge.
Yep.
It is.
Everything's an F-Pace.
They all look the same. Sorry. They do. Everyone's bringing out an SUV crossover type thing with a slightly different badge on it and a slightly different front end. The rear just looks the same as all the others.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with all these crossovers and SUVs. We don't need them.
It's like movies. All of a sudden, there's a new zombie movie out, and then everyone releases zombie movies. Then there's a new car movie out. Everyone releases car movies. It's like
Dare to be different.
Exactly. No one seems to have their own individual idea. It's, let's jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, price.
The Jag F-Pace with an Audi badge is £47,000. Has a 260-mile range and an 83 kilowatt-hour battery.
Marvellous. Okay, Indian Motorcycles has built a car.
Really?
Look here.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. It's got a bonnet.
It's also got a 1.8 litre V-twin engine. It's called the Challenger.
Ooh. 120 brake horsepower, 131 pounds-feet of torque. That's quite a lot.
All for the bargain price of £25,000.
But with almost 70 litres of storage space and a weight of 365 kilos.
You're reading that script a lot.
I am. It might as well be a car.
Okay, shall I read like you?
Should we mention the
The
other?
2020 Audi RS6 Avant looks epic on paper and pretty good in the photos.
No, 'cause
4 litre
that
twin turbo V8.
No, that bit's black. That's mine.
It's called sarcasm. Go with it.
If I do this, it reflects my voice back at the microphone and I'll be louder as well.
Oh, just get on with it, man.
Did we mention
Motorcycle Live's starting soon.
Oh no, did we mention the other Indian? That one with the really cool exhaust and stuff?
It is an Indian I want to get my hands on and I really would like to buy myself. That's the FTR 1200S. Oh, beautiful looking bike.
I know a very good reason why you shouldn't buy it though.
Why?
Because it's like $15,500 in the US. So it's going to be
£20,000 here.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But that exhaust looks fantastic. It looks really
I
nice.
just like the overall look of the bike.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Lovely looking thing. Indian do make some fantastic looking motorcycles. Jealous.
The 2020 Audi RS6 Avant looks epic on paper and looks pretty good in the pictures too, with a 4-litre twin-turbo V8.
Now, we've all seen Audi A6s stroke RS6s before, but this one has 600 brake horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of 3.6 seconds.
More like a Mustang than the Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
Prices will start from £90,000, and yes, while that is quite a lot, most cars are limited to 155 miles an hour.
They are indeed. You do get 2 bolt-on packs, and the upper one of that pack can see you hitting 190 miles an hour.
On the M25.
In an estate car. That's ridiculous. 190 in an estate car.
That's impressive, isn't it?
Well done, Audi.
Yeah. A tiny hybrid system allows you to run the car with the engine on or off up to 14 miles an hour for a smoother start-stop system.
So basically what that means is, with the car, usually when you have the start-stop, you stop at the traffic lights or whatever, stop in traffic, and the engine cuts out. And then when you put your foot on the accelerator or the clutch, it starts the engine up and off you go. Well, this can do that, the start-stop thing, up to 14 miles an hour.
So you'll start moving on electric only?
Exactly. So as you're slowing down, it will cut the engine. And then as you pull away on electric, it will then start the engine, so you're still going. So you've got that smooth transition rather than on or off.
That's quite
You know
nice.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good technology.
Well, what it can also do is coast along at up to 70 miles an hour for like 40 seconds. Just coasting.
Yeah, it seems a bit silly, really.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just a willy waving exercise.
Yeah, good point.
It is. Look what I can do.
Just take your foot off the accelerator, fixed.
Exactly.
It doesn't use any fuel when you take your foot off the accelerator because of modern fuel injection systems.
I don't see much point in that. I mean, the idea is supposed to save fuel. I can't see that saving that much fuel economy, to be honest. However, the ability to run on 4 cylinders rather than the 8 when you're not using all that power does.
Yeah. And that technology's been around a long time.
It has nothing new there.
But it is a good feature to have.
Well, there's also a new offering from Corvette, the 2020 Corvette C8. Now, that has a 6.2 litre V8 engine. Lovely, lovely. With sub 3 second 0 to 60. Even better. And that'll be out in 2020.
Apparently it's mounted in the middle of the car as well. It's not at the front anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah. And for the first time coming in 2021 to the UK, right-hand drive in a Corvette.
Yeah, probably about 80 grand, I should imagine, when it comes
probably.
to the UK.
But still cool.
Well, we'll see. However, there's something I'm not so sure about. Now, look at these pictures. And from this, you can see it's got a very sort of Ferrari front end with a Corvette back end. It's a bit odd. It's nice, but it's a bit odd. Not sure what to think about it. Need to see one in the flesh, really.
It sort of reminds me a bit of that new NSX.
Okay.
A bit.
I disagree, but okay.
Yeah, it's got some kind of thing going on.
I see where you're going. It's got like a wider back end with a slopier front end.
Yeah, but it's mid-engined and it's a
Yeah.
all-sports car and red.
Yeah.
So continuing with the electric trend.
Sadly, where our future is heading.
Yes, the Fiat 500e with a 150-mile range. It's coming in the summer 2020.
£27,000 or thereabouts, and a mini motor for the masses. Apart from the actual mini electric, of course.
True. I think that's going to be really popular because the current 500 is really popular and the electric is just going to be as popular.
So
They're going to love it.
then.
Yeah, they're going to love it. Everyone's going to love that.
You're going to burst into song any minute now.
About popular.
Yeah, from Wicked. Seen that?
No.
All right, move on.
As we all know, the Kia Soulless was vomit-inducing to look at.
Well, 2020 sees a new Kia Soul EV. Electric. Yes, what a shock. That will come to you around £34,000 and has a combined 64 kilowatt hour lithium battery and a permanent, let me get this right, permanent magnet synchronous engine power, which means you'll have a combined power of 201 horsepower.
In a Kia Soul.
And 291 pounds-foot of torque.
In a Kia Soul.
lookless.
No, I think it looks a lot better now than it did before.
It does.
It's a much nicer car.
It is. Still got that weird flat back end, like it's been smashed up the arse by a lorry.
Yeah, but if they took away that, then it wouldn't be the Kia Solus, would it? So you've got to keep the design thing.
Well, no, it'd be the Kia Soul.
Oh, fair point. It's the Kia less soulless. Yeah.
It's the Kia would have had soul if it hadn't been smacked up the arse by a lorry.
Yes. But for a little electric Kia Soul, that's got tons of grunt.
That's got some power.
Well, what's impressive about it is a 0 to 60 time of 7.6 seconds and a top speed of 104 miles an hour.
Average range, 280 miles, so you decide.
I think that's pretty good.
Well, it has an AC charge time at 220 volts of 31 hours. So if you plug it in your socket at home, 31 hours.
Yeah.
7.2 kilowatt charger, 9 hours, which is a lot better. And it also has a DC charge in less than an hour. So that's pretty good.
I'm not keen on these pumping power into batteries. I think it damages them. In the long term, yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think
yeah,
it
of
will
course.
reduce its life.
And then you've got £4.5 million to replace the battery. It's quite a new car.
Yeah.
Looks wise,
Yeah, the jury's out for us.
definitely. Not impressed. We're impressed.
Well, the jury's out, like I said.
I like but don't like it.
I like it more than the original, but I probably still wouldn't choose one. Is that fair to say? Okay. However,
There is a new offering coming from Honda in the form of the Honda E.
it's awesome looking, but a little slow, or is it?
Well, 135 brake horsepower, 232 pounds-foot of torque. That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive.
That's got a lot of... I mean, the battery isn't huge. It's a 35.5 kilowatt-hour battery. So top speed is about 90 miles an hour. And 0 to 60 is around 8 seconds.
And your range is around 135 miles, which for a small town commuter type thing is perfectly adequate. You're not likely to want to do big journeys if you've bought a little tiny car like that.
Okay. Prices?
They're around £26,000.
And that is something I would like to get my hands on, to be honest.
I love it.
I quite like the look of it.
Since I put the little news thing up on our webpage about it,
Yeah.
like sometime last year or something. I thought it was brilliant.
And one of the best things about it is coming out designed the same way as the concept.
Yeah, and the concept drawing looked fantastic, and the actual car looks fantastic.
I know.
It's just little 70s or 80s, what was it, a Honda Civic or something.
Yeah.
Brilliant, love it.
Yeah. So there we go. That's where our world is heading. Electric.
Now, we know there are lots of hypercars and supercars coming, but they're not motors for the masses, are they?
No, we also know there's lots of cars and bikes we could have mentioned, but would have been here all day because there's lots coming out. And of course, there's lots of new versions of what's already out. But we wanted to pick on something that's just interesting and exciting that you might want to know about.
Like that Honda.
Yes.
I love that Honda.
So please let us know. Is there anything you're keen to see or get your hands on in 2020? Is there anything that you've got your eye on? Anything that you really want to ride stroke drive? If there is, please let us know in the comments section below. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, if you're at Motorcycle Live this weekend, pop along and see us and say hello. We've got some more stuff coming very soon. We've got his car coming very soon.
We've actually already started recording some of that. It's just taking some time.
That, what he said. We've got another episode of Mach coming, the Mustang Mach-1. We're going to be back in that engine bay sorting things out. We've also got some new bikes coming from Peugeot and Bullet. So watch out for the reviews on that. And we've got lots of other bikes coming too. So please stay tuned for those as well.
And don't forget Bob.
Oh yes, Bobby's back, yes. Now, next week we've got our episode reporting from Motorcycle Live, and we've also got an episode from Bob. Yes, more stuff happening with Bob. It's strip down time. Yes, we're getting somewhere with him now. So, that's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Please don't forget to come back and subscribe and all that stuff.
Click the bell and join us on Patreon if you wish. There's all sorts of rewards for joining on Patreon, whatever. And also use our store, which is a Facebook store where you can buy jackets and T-shirts and mugs and
Christmas is coming.
Stuff. Yeah, there you go.
So, until next time, please ride and drive carefully.
But have fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Grr. Arg. From the end of Buffy.